Here's more wrestling news for November 30th, 2021. And your headlines for this afternoon include: Damian Priest's change in character seems to be inevitable on Raw. Bryan Danielson shares his thoughts on recent WWE and ROH releases. Why Bryan Danielson is worried about Darby Allin. More details on WWE covering rehab costs for wrestlers employed by rival promotions. Released WWE superstar expects WWE to be sold within 5 years. Paul Heyman gives massive props to recent Malachi Black vs. Buddy Matthews match. Details on Alberto Del Rio's backstage altercation with WWE employee. Jim Ross responds to Michael Cole's recent remark about WWE commentary, and more. We are starting off today with Damian Priest, who has undergone a major change since his return on the post-Crown Jewel Raw. The reigning US champion isn't the smiling babyface he once was, and has slightly modified his look, theme, and character. Priest is now bringing out a more intense side of himself, something that Apollo Crews learned firsthand during their US title match on Raw. At first, Commander Aziz played a big role, trying to distract Priest, which only infuriated the champion before Aziz was sent to the back by the referee. The expressions on Priest's face may have been slightly comical, but it represented him going into his darker side. The Archer of Infamy isn't a full-fledged babyface anymore, and seems to be in a tweener role for now, but it'll be interesting to see how he taps into this new side of his character, as a heel turn seems to be getting teased every other week. Perhaps this character development is what's needed to take Priest from the mid-card into the main event scene, as 2022 could be just as big a year for him as 2021 has been. Unlike over 80 superstars in this year alone, Bryan Danielson wasn't released by WWE this year, but chose to leave in April. It was little over 4 months after losing to Roman Reigns that Danielson debuted at AEW All Out, earning a thunderous response from the crowd. Another former company of Bryan, Ring of Honor, has also been releasing superstars, as the company will go on hiatus next month, and in an interview with Busted Open Radio, discussed his reaction to seeing so many people lose their jobs. He said, "I was just sad. I guess what the hard part with all of it is, I think of is the people with the jobs. They're not going to do the full-time contracts or anything like that anymore. This is coming in a year when we've still got the pandemic going on. We've got a lot of people being cut from the WWE side. There's not a ton of full-time jobs out there." Bryan, who was released by WWE in both 2003 and 2010 before his departure this year, went on to say that on both occasions he bought a new car, and that it's scary to be released and have no income coming in. The #1 contender for the AEW World Championship, Bryan has re-established himself under Tony Khan in rapid fashion, but there's plenty of talented wrestlers right now who not only aren't in a similar spot, but they're not in a job at all. Upon joining AEW, Danielson brought back his American Dragon persona that he first used on the independent scene, using more stiff shots and more violent moves compared to his WWE days. Speaking on the Casual Conversations podcast, Danielson discussed the younger stars of AEW he's yet to face, and said that Darby Allin worries him because of the former TNT champion's reckless nature. "There's Darby Allin, who I think is just fantastic. I worry about him physically, about all the stuff he puts his body through. They're all kind of different. Dante, who's doing this incredible high flying. Darby, he does this stuff that seems a little reckless, but I find him to be very psychologically sound and also this great character." Danielson is no stranger to high-octane work in the ring, but after having to spend 2 years in retirement because of injuries, it's no wonder why the former WWE World Champion is cautious about the young wrestler. After decimating Colt Cabana last week, Danielson will face Alan Angels on this week's Dynamite, as Bryan is making his way through wrestlers en route to AEW's World Champion Adam Page. More from AEW, as Jon Moxley has chosen to enter inpatient alcohol rehab, but could have gone to WWE's sponsored rehab, which is free for past superstars. Yesterday, we reported that WWE had even given rehab to those former superstars when they were wrestling in Impact Wrestling, and now we know more about the program. In a report from Wrestling Inc., it said that the program, titled the WWE Former Talent Drug and Alcohol Rehabilitation Assistance Program, began in September 2007, and it includes anyone who worked for WWE, even if they were in a competing promotion. Each year, WWE sends out a letter informing all former talents about the program, which includes a confidential hotline where former talent can seek admittance to a treatment center with all costs covered by WWE. In just 18 months of the program, 3.1% of former talent had accepted help from WWE, an impressive statistic from March 2009. There's no word on what the current figure is, but for all the heat WWE gets, it's good to remember that this genuinely heartwarming program is available to help any former superstar who needs assistance. Earlier this month, Taya Valkyrie was released from her contract after joining the company as Frankie Monet in February. The longest-reigning Impact Knockouts champion, Valkyrie wasn't given much time to shine in WWE, but she was there long enough to make a bold prediction. When FITE TV asked their Twitter followers where do they see WWE in 5 years' time, Monet replied, simply saying the company will have been sold. This led to backlash from fans, who called the Canadian wrestler bitter due to her recent release, and Valkyrie didn't hold back either, responding to fans who replied to her comment. The former superstar, who was released the same month as her husband John Morrison, has been highly critical of WWE since departing and encouraged fans to stop supporting a company she believes has zero respect for talent. Despite the company-wide layoffs being seen as WWE looking for a potential buyer, company president Nick Khan has always insisted that WWE is not for sale, but time will tell if that's still the case in 2026. Both Malachi Black and Buddy Matthews have also fell victim to WWE's dreaded budget cuts, but the pair recently faced off at a WrestleCade event in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. This match was highly anticipated as it played off their rivalry from a few years ago in WWE, and one name in particular was pleased by what he saw. Responding to the match, Paul Heyman said that he was quite proud of both Black and Matthews for the match, and said that promotional boundaries shouldn't limit anyone who wants to showcase their abilities. During Heyman's tenure as Raw Executive Director, Black and Murphy were both favorites of his he wanted to push, but those plans fizzled out when he was replaced by Bruce Pritchard. Now Heyman works solely as an on-screen performer, serving as the special counsel to Roman Reigns, but the former executive director is pleased to see two of his guys absolutely kill it outside WWE. In August 2014, just 4 years after his main roster debut, Alberto Del Rio was released for what was called at the time unprofessional conduct and altercation with an employee. Del Rio would return to WWE in October 2015 before leaving in 2016, but now we know more about what led to his first release. One man who worked closely with Del Rio was Dutch Mantell, who this week told WSI's James Romero that Del Rio slapped some kind of writer or production assistant backstage. This scene to the point where he attacked. Triple H was the one who called Del Rio to let him know he'd been fired, which in a subsequent interview with Conan, Del Rio said his firing took him by surprise as he'd been disrespected backstage. Explaining his return, Mantell said Vince McMahon always had a soft spot for Del Rio and was the one responsible for his 2015 return. Since leaving WWE the second time, Del Rio has had plenty to say, both good and bad, about his former employer, and while he remains hopeful of one last run, it remains to be seen if the company gives him another shot. Earlier this month, Michael Cole appeared on the Pat McAfee show, and one line from the SmackDown commentator hasn't gone down well. During the show, Cole distanced himself from being considered a play-by-play commentator and instead said he's an actor who plays the role of a commentator on television. This line sparked a furious response from Jim Cornette, who blamed Kevin Dunn for giving Cole that mindset, and now JR has weighed in. On his Grilling JR podcast, Ross said that he's got nothing bad to say about Cole, but didn't like the actor comment, and promised to talk more about his former colleague. JR, who's considered by many to be the greatest play-by-play commentator ever, clearly takes calling the action very seriously, and the last thing he'd want to be called is an actor playing a commentator on TV. And we're ending today with more from JR as the legendary commentator is battling skin cancer. This week, the WWE Hall of Famer gave an update on his condition as he tweeted a photo of his leg saying that the first radiation session is over and there's 21 to go. JR didn't specify how the experience was, but put a smiley emoji, complete with his trademark cowboy hat, so it seems that the session went well for him. With 21 sessions left, AEW will have to carry on without JR, but both the company and us are wishing the Oklahoma native the very best in his fight with skin cancer. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.